night having some afternoon tea.
Yes.
Outside in Florida right now. Let's
Beautiful
see.
Florida.
All right. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today for this amazing interview in my business marketing and mindset series. Yeah, this is like so fun and spontaneous. I'm super excited. Introductions first. I'm Stacy, Raske, the empowered overthinker and biker business coach, best-selling author and speaker, but most importantly, business success and abundance coach for high-achieving female entrepreneurs struggling with self-doubt and sabotage. Help them build confidence and grow their businesses with ease and authenticity, because all of us high achievers know we are good at overcomplicating the shit out of stuff, and we will make things so hard. And then as far as authenticity, as much as we want it and feel it and know it, we feel like an imposter.
Yep.
Full of doubt. So that is why I bring you these amazing series with phenomenal powerhouse entrepreneurs and women. And so I'm super honored to bring you Heather. Tell the audience a little bit about who you are, your amazing brand and movement, which I've been following for years. I love it. We're total soul sisters.
We are, you guys.
No, we're soul sisters.
We are, exactly. I love it. I love it. Soul sisters. We are, really though.
Yes.
And well, so basically, I mean, it's been fun. It's been a long time coming. You guys, this isn't something that happened overnight. I'm 34 years old. I feel like I had this idea when I was in middle school, and I'm not kidding, when I noticed some issues amongst women. So in a nutshell, my brand is called True Beauty Movement. Weirdly enough, it's TRU without the E, Beauty Movement. I was like, I have too many E's going on. Like, we need to drop the E in this one. So it's True Beauty Movement. It's a holistic wellness and beauty blog. It's all about redefining BEYOU and empowering women in and out. And I like to say girls and women of all ages, because I have worked with literally, when I volunteer at Girls Inc., 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and I've taught chair yoga to, 95-year-olds. So to me, as much as you're always told with branding, like define your niche, I say girls and women of all ages, because we can all benefit from this. And I gotta just share this because this is really true to my brand. It's so important for you to just get it. Besides the spiel, is for me, it's really about, I say, be balanced, be true, be proud to be you, right? So it's what that is.
So cheerleader.
I know, and I was not a cheerleader. No offense, but I wasn't really drawn to that. I was a tennis player.
But it's motivational because people get the body involved.
Okay, see, like in New York, we're gonna have a big movement. I'm gonna be teaching yoga. We're all gonna be like, be balanced, be true, be proud to be you. Like I can see it. I have the vision. So basically, what that is be balanced, and that's physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, and emotionally. So what I mean by that is, we're being balanced, we're being holistic beauties, and I would say that's probably the biggest passion in my brand, because I think a lot of the time beauty and old school beauty and a lot of magazines and cosmetic companies and things like that, it's all about physical beauty, and then we're wondering why, well gosh, we look so pretty on the outside, why aren't we confident, why aren't we happy, or why aren't we fulfilled? So that is the core, the backbone of the brand, is being holistic beauties and hitting those 5 areas. Be true to your authentic self, what we talked about, authenticity, and then be proud to be you, so rock it, And it's not just this new age be you thing, it's something I've really built for a long time, and it's been fun. It's fun to see it grow.
Right? It is amazing, and I love the new directions, like with revamping the blog, and I've followed your YouTube channel forever, and I was just geeking out now that I'm like this new high-level blonde, the most recent blog article on
Which I love, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, I do.
We're being such girls.
Yes, I know.
All my ladies.
Being girls are the best. I love being girly.
But yeah, like getting rid of the hard water buildup to just brighten up the blonde. I was like, girl, I am so on this.
That was one of my blog posts. Check it out.
We will put all the links to her blog,
Non-toxic
her
beauty.
website. She's so about, the clean as well. Clean beauty, clean lifestyle. So amazing. And because you have this amazing cohesive brand that people from the outside see as singular.
Yes.
And yet you've incorporated so many of your passions, that you've got all these layers and elements. You've got the essential oils, you've got the yoga, you've got the mindset, you've got the lifestyle, you've got the beauty and the clothing and all
multifaceted, right? There's like all these layers. Yeah.
Exactly, multifaceted. You know, so many of the women that I work with, you know, they're really multi-passionate like that, and they always get these blocks around, you know, the old mindset where we've got to categorize ourselves in this like singular direction as far as niching and identifying your ideal client. And I'm always like, let's just identify what lights you up from the inside and allow it to all come together. So I really wanted them to get to meet you and hear a lot about your story and really explaining how you allowed this brand to unfold. And then, of course, some of the speed bumps and the roadblocks and the lessons along the way. Always, right? And again, I mean, I love surrounding myself with other amazing, high-achieving, successful women who also struggle with the same things that I do, because the reason we teach these things is because it's all the stuff we struggle with ourselves. You know, we love helping people with authenticity because we've struggled with that. We love talking about emotional and social
and balance.
And balance,
you know, be balanced.
Right?
There's a reason that's a backbone, because it's so important to me and it's hard to do. I'm pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant right now.
And
I'm wearing
she looks
black.
Amazing.
Thank you. I have a 3-year-old daughter at home, and then, you know, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, you know, I've been blessed with a second little girl, who I swear I thought was going to be a boy, a little girl, and it's because it's for a reason, because I'm supposed to be empowering these women, and I have to practice what I preach as I teach all the true beauties and all my followers of, I'm not perfect, you know, I don't have it all figured out, but I like to teach, you know, my degree's in journalism and marketing, so I have my bachelor's degree in that, and I love to not have it all figured out before I share, but kind of share as like this interview, you know, and that to me is, I think, not only more real and more authentic and people can relate to it more, but it's like, hey guys, I figured out this new mantra, I figured out this new thing I'm doing in the morning, my new morning routine to help me be more balanced or help me be a better mom, etc. Right? So that's exactly right. We don't have it all figured out, but we have enough figured out that we can teach you guys some pretty cool things to live your best life.
Exactly, and we are all about leading by example. And her example of having this really holistic brand that incorporates so many elements. So what drove the creation of True Beauty Movement? I mean, really thinking about, you know, when people first start getting into business and they're creating these niche for themselves, and everyone's always thinking narrow, but they're thinking narrow in terms of the business instead of the audience. And I know your audience is broad, but in many ways I think you do have you know, really probably a very ideal niche person.
And it's almost like a personality thing. Like,
it is.
Which of course is so meant to be with the brand, because rather than it being this cookie cutter, like, you're going to be this age, you're going to look like this. I mean, that to me, are you kidding me? That's the shallow physical side. It's a personality thing. All of my true beauties and my true followers, my VIP true beauties as I call them that follow me, they are the epitome of inner and outer beauty. They are beautiful, they are kind, they are smart, they are important, you know, they have that it factor, they have that heart, and they have that spirituality. It doesn't matter how it's defined, or they're seeking that, and it's, you know, there's a sensitivity, and I think not only authenticity, I think it's they have an empath side to them as well. So I think it's more of a personality thing that's a true beauty. It's not necessarily the way you look, your weight, your hair color, your makeup, your background, whether you're wealthy, whether you're not, or somewhere in between. So to me, I always find it's like, I can look them right in the eye, have a conversation like this, and I'm like, girl, you're a true beauty. Like,
you're my people.
Yeah, you're my people. And I'm not, and also I've had to come to realize this. The ones who maybe are not, because when I very first started developing the brand, I kind of had a little bit of an attitude with it, because I think I was a little, not resentful, but a little, I thought of some of my high school, middle school days, and I thought of some of the change I wanted to make. And for me, digging really deep here, I saw a huge problem when popularity and things like that start to come into play, like in middle school and high school. And I started realizing, like, gosh, elementary school, everyone's so real and they're themselves, and all of a sudden, like, lockers and popularity and all that, and you start seeing, and I hate to say it, but I heard you swear earlier, and I swear all the time. So, like, the beautiful bitch syndrome. And what I mean by that is...
Well, I mean, come on, the name of my book, we're going to say bitch.
Oh my God, I love it. This is meant to be. Girl, this used to be on my YouTube video too. Or my YouTube channel.
So empty on the inside.
Yes. And rude to people. And, you know, think of the movie Mean Girls, right? Like this. And I always was like, God, you know, and I will be the first to say it, and this is in no way arrogant. It's also owning it. I always was the tall, blonde, da-da-da. But I'm like, just because I look like this doesn't mean I'm like that on the inside. Like, I'm actually, like, very sensitive. I'm a Cancer. And, you know, I get my feelings hurt and this and that, and I always felt kind of like I didn't belong.
Yeah.
I always felt like I looked like these girls, but I didn't relate to them, and then sometimes I didn't look maybe like some of these girls, but I related to them, and I ended up choosing a lot of more those type of friendships that really meant something to me. And I'm not saying it was all that way, but I've always felt like I have this calling to bridge these two. And when I very first, circling back, started the brand, I was going to call it True Beauty, more than just a pretty face. And my big thing was like, you know, be more than just a pretty face. And then I started realizing, well, the girls who maybe are just a pretty face, or the women, or there's that sort of shallow side, what I'm now realizing is, and this has been a long time coming, a journey, is there's nothing wrong with those women. What's happening is they've learned from, whether it's parenting, whether it's trauma, their own experiences. It could be a relationship. It could be just they grew up going, well, to be popular, you got to talk this way. I think of I hate to say it, but the Kardashians and things like that. Like, I have to talk this way, I have to talk that way to be cool. And they start to, you know, society develops them into what they maybe became.
The mask, right?
Yes.
That we wear.
And I started realizing, you know, it's kind of like we're seeking that balance. So if somebody's really drawn towards the physical side, that's great. Let's maybe create more depth, and let's maybe nourish you a little bit more mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? All the other aspects of being a true beauty. If you're really the spiritual side, but you're like, I don't care what I look like, I'm way more depth than that, like I have like oily hair, whatever. Okay, well that's all right, and you're clearly showing that to the world, but maybe you can come to the other end. What's wrong with looking beautiful? Yeah. What's wrong with taking pride in the way you look and owning it? I actually think it's not stepping in your light by showing the finger to the world and just saying, I have so much depth, I don't care. I think we're all seeking balance, and that's where it's at. Like, that's really where I'm passionate, is where can we help you kind of seek balance of what you're naturally drawn to, and where can we help to balance you out with positive mantras. Maybe you're naturally a pessimist. We can make you a little bit more optimistic with some positive mantras, some confidence building tips. So we all are seeking balance. No one's perfect, but it's like trying to create that. That's what I mean by authenticity. Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. And it is. It's no matter what we're doing, there's always some sort of self-rejection and some judgment that we bring in any aspect of extremity. Like if we go over one way, you know, there might be some, you know, we're rejecting our categorizing of what we feel is fitting in to certain stuff, and it's like, okay, I don't want to be in these categories, so I'm going to go way over here. But in that, it being so extreme, we're actually rejecting some of our authenticity because we might be more about balance.
Absolutely. So. And we naturally do it to belong, like in society, right? So
we're
that's
so
where
afraid of rejection.
It's like, I'm not this, I'm in the yoga category, I'm over here.
I'm ultra spiritual.
I'm the spiritual essential oil category. Okay, but girl, you can look good too. Like, you know, or over here, it's like, I'm only into fashion and makeup. So to me, it's like, it can be all, and you don't have to be all. It's like, if you are not into fashion and makeup, if you are not into A, B, and C, that's okay, as long as you can honestly, in your heart of hearts, when you go to sleep at night, go, you know what, my style, my you know, the way I treated people today when I was out at Target or running errands or driving or whatever, you know, and the books I'm reading, the, you know, the way my mindset is, that if you feel like you're being authentic, then to me, I applaud that. And I really do. So, you know, that's really what it's about. And I write blog posts that my goal and my intention when I write my blog posts is to hit all those areas, and that really holds me accountable. Because then I'm writing like a non-toxic, how to do a smoky eye, non-toxic or a hair thing for physical beauty. I'm doing a post on, you know, the power of positive affirmations for mental beauty. So maybe the power of, you know, kind of like bullying and things like that, or how you can deal with maybe the beautiful bitches in the world or whatever, how you can handle that better as an empath for social beauty. Spiritual beauty, I'm a certified yoga teacher in addition to being a professional makeup artist and wellness coach, so I teach, you know, what I'm certified in, what my expertise is. So spiritual beauty, I love to teach yoga because that's very true to my heart, and meditation and manifesting, but that can be defined however you want. I don't like to ever categorize that for people. Emotional, I'm big into journaling and also having an art. So you'll see I teach about like the whole being, and I try to nourish that so you can pick and choose and cherry pick what interests you, but hopefully it all interests you.
Well, and see, so you're saying like right out of the gate in developing True Beauty, you were like very holistic in your vision. and wanting to incorporate all of these layers, or did some
No,
sort
that
of add in
happened.
over time?
That's a great question. So when I really think about the beginning, I think of middle school, right? I think of the middle school popularity thing. I think I just thought of, and I noticed that. I think of high school and how I noticed this issue. I didn't like that a lot of the time the beautiful bitch syndrome. I need to like freaking patent that or copyright that. I'm like beautiful bitch syndrome.
I'm always like manifestation meltdown.
Yeah,
Let's
I love it.
that.
I love it. And I always say manifestation mama or manifestation master. I hashtag that all the time because we're both such manifestation masters. Totally. And you know, for me, I think that that was sort of, I saw a problem, right? I saw a problem and I wanted to create a solution. I saw that I fit certain areas, but I was like a circle going to a square or whatever, the vice versa. Yeah. I didn't quite fit in.
Same way.
Yeah, I didn't quite fit in, right? And I could kind of fake it till you make it, but I didn't. I felt like I was being inauthentic, and I was never, and I'm really proud of this from a young age. I remember, like, if some of the beautiful bitches or whatever were talking bad or talking shit about, like, another girl, and I knew that girl from National Honor Society because I've always been an overachiever like this one, and I was like, I knew, like, I lit it, and I was very proud of this because as a young age, you're willing to kind of do whatever. I'm not saying I never did it, but overall, I was like, just kind of stay quiet. I was like, I'm not going to talk about that person. That's really rude, and, like, that person's actually very nice just because maybe they're A, B, and C and don't look like you. So I saw this problem, and what ended up happening is, I kind of created distance from a lot of these people because I was just like, you aren't fulfilling to me as a friend. And what happened to me, and this is where a lot of my overachiever comes from, is I was very academic, always just understood how to get straight A's in school. It was very much worked for me and the way my mind works. And so I threw myself into school a lot and overachieving. I would, I went to school in Park City, and I was the, Park City, Utah, and I was like the host of the minor morning show, and I would throw myself into all these different things and stayed busy. And sometimes I think that was a coping mechanism.
Yeah, we just avoid our feelings.
We did, and I got into journaling, but weirdly enough, the thing that's interesting though, it wasn't necessarily just avoiding though, because it actually wasn't. I think what happens is I created distance from these people, and what happens is, weirdly enough, you guys, this is why I know myself so well at such a young age. I was 16, 17 years old, would be in my bedroom at my house while my mom's cooking dinner downstairs, and I'd be ripping out magazine articles from Shape magazine, and both positive and all sorts, and I would literally highlight them, and I had a file cabinet of like a mini magazine. I had, you want to know beauty? I had I had makeup, I had self-esteem, I had yoga, I had all different categories. And that's when I told my mom, I was like 16, 17, I said, Mom, I want to have a magazine someday. All these magazines are very like shallow and they're all about physical. And I'm like, I want to have a magazine someday that has like chapters. I didn't call it physical, mental, but I was like, I want to have fitness. I want to have yoga. I want to have makeup. I want to have confidence. I want to have boyfriend, trouble, like all these different layers. So that started in really 16, 17, like in high school. And then what's happened since then is I went to college on a Sterling Scholarship, overachiever, and did all that, and I was kind of into theater, dipped into different things. I ultimately did journalism as my major, working for a magazine is what I wanted to do, and then gender studies, women's studies is what I was studying along with theater. And that was really the dream for me, was whatever I do, I want to create depth in a shallow industry and do this. And for me, it was either move to New York and work for one of the big time magazines, or because I loved makeup and skincare and I struggled with acne for years, which took a toll on my self-esteem, I thought about doing positive female marketing for cosmetics. So when I first was applying to jobs, there were some opportunities for me in New York doing an unpaid internship for magazines, and then there was Bare Minerals, Bare Essentials Cosmetics. They offered me a job, and it was paid, and it was a manager job, and I took that because I had school loans. So I worked in the cosmetic industry, became a professional makeup artist. Shallow industry, but it was natural, non-toxic, one of the first non-toxic.
Right? Really, it was.
Yeah, and I worked, and we became #1 in the country. My little small counter was #1 in the whole country, overachiever. And I was like, I'm gonna go to corporate, and I'm gonna go to San Francisco, and I'm gonna, I had this whole vision. And the sad but honest truth is, as I grew up the ladder within the cosmetic industry, I was surrounded by a lot of the beautiful bitch syndrome. Yeah. And I decided there was a lot of workaholics that were wearing the Chanel suits, had the corner office, and they didn't seem very happy. And I thought to myself, and this is where it's manifesting, I was doing a lot of yoga at the time, I just started thinking, God, this isn't happiness to me. You know, a lot of them are single, they seem miserable, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being single, I was just like, they're working too much, there's no balance.
Yeah.
And I started to close my eyes and do my yoga, and I just started going, what is happiness to me? And I started defining that vision. And that goes into manifesting and vision boards and how the brand's just expanded. You know, there's so many other layers. I ended up getting certified in yoga. I ended up quitting that job. I ended up working for a small magazine. I mean, you guys, this is a long time coming, but it's been fun. You know, like I've worked my ass off, but every layer's mattered. Does that make sense?
Oh no, absolutely. Because it all comes into your brand now, and that's what people see. So has there ever been any awkward moments in integrating all of these things under this cohesive vision?
That's a good question. Like almost awkward, as in like it's just too much stuff.
Yeah, I think because the biggest complaint I hear from people is like they feel like, you know, they need to focus on one thing, and what you're describing so beautifully is focusing on this singular vision, but allowing all of these elements that support that singular vision to unfold and be a part of it.
Right.
So, I mean, really awkward in understanding how you wanted to incorporate some of these different elements, or awkward in sometimes how it resonated with your audience. Were they always clear on understanding your vision?
It's a great question.
Or were they like, okay, that's great, you're talking about beauty over here, but then you're talking about yoga on this one, and then you're talking about essential oils, and like, did the brand message translate right out of the gate, or did you have some awkward growing pains?
Yes, so the answer, that's a great question. Honestly, I love this question.
Good brand
oh my
stuff.
gosh, I love this question. So yes, the answer is a giant yes on all those, everything. So what I mean by that is I actually love that a lot of your followers, a lot of my followers are wondering this, because I follow a lot of high achievers. My husband and I are really into like Tim Ferriss. He got me into Tim Ferriss.
I love Tim Ferriss.
I know, and my husband's like so into it, and then I got more into him. I mean, I of course love all the usuals, the Oprahs, the Tony Robbins, all that, but I love Mel Robbins, you know, the 5-second rule.
And Brene Brown.
Yes, oh my God, like so I follow all these high achievers, and of course bloggers who are high achievers. And something, there's this Brendan.com, look him up. So I follow his channel on YouTube. He's wonderful. He's amazing. He's all about the high achiever life. And I watch his videos a lot, and he talks about with clarity comes confidence. And I could not agree with that more. So I'm kind of quoting him there. I don't know if he has a copyrighted or what, but I say it all. I kind of say it all the time. I like tag him, you know. And I'd love to interview him someday. And he, you know, with clarity comes confidence. I think that you guys are on the right track in thinking that, and I don't want to stream you off this way too much, because just know this. I'm 34 years old. I've had this vision since I was 6. We'll call this 11 if I were talking middle school, and really clarity in the vision, like 16 when I started saying I want to have this positive female magazine. And that's what I always called it, positive female marketing or positive female magazine, right? That was like my big spiel. Before I got really clear on like true beauty movement, be balanced, be true you know, redefining beauty. So for me, if you are too spread out and you're too all over the place, yes, your audience is going to be confused. Yes, you're going to be confused. And I've had to go through different things through my journey of working up the ladder with Bare Essentials, winning those awards and like, you know, the national #1 in the company, yada, 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 and being proud of that, finding that wasn't for me, quitting, working for Healthy Magazine. That was the magazine I was the marketing director for, and I also freelance writer for. Like I basically wrote an article every month and was their marketing director. And, you know, it's interesting because even though my heart was in writing, I got pushed into sales because I've always been great at sales because I'm passionate, I believe in something. But you've got to stay true to your vision, because my vision's always been this. And sometimes to pay the bills, you know, I would be like, oh, well, you know, marketing director, I'm selling ad space, I'm going to make more money than writing in my articles. So I kind of would do both. And the problem with that is if you don't have clarity, you don't have that one focus, it doesn't mean you can't have like sub-bullets within the focus, like my brand, which is ultimately what it is. We have your brand and you have sub-bullets within, right? Like yoga, wellness, beauty, lifestyle is now what I call it, right? Yeah. So, or physical, mental, social, spiritual, emotional is another way of doing that. But if you're too all over the place, you are only going to make so much progress with everything, because you're 100% of yourself. You're a holistic beauty. And if you're giving 50% here, 10% here, you can't give 100% to all these areas. So after, you know, Healthy Magazine, my husband and I moved to LA. I was able to work from home, work for the magazine. And that's when I started doing more yoga. And yoga was always just in my heart since I was a child. Like meditation, I've been very drawn to crystals, and it's just very intuitive for me. from a very young age. I would journal, go up in the trees in my parents' backyard with crystals, you guys, and I was like 7, you know? So, I mean, I was very drawn. Yeah, like, it's just like, I'm here for a reason, you know? There's a reason for all this. So, so I always kind of listened to that. I would always go to yoga, which is the depth, right? So even in the shallow cosmetic industry, when I would just be exhausted, I was working 13-hour days, I was like 22 years old, working my ass off, not really feeling I'm getting really the credit I deserve, but kind of still working it. And I would go to a yoga class and I would feel like, oh my God, I'm home, right? So I knew there had to be this like yoga beauty, you know, something there, true beauty, right? And I think that journey was very important for my own growth. But my message to you is, God, if I would have just practiced what I'm doing now at 17, where would I be now at 34? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, the vision of what I have this can become, I'd already be there, you know? So a part of me gets a little frustrated with myself as a perfectionist, as an overachiever, and as an overthinker, like your book, because there's this side of me that's always known, and I kind of let the paying the bills or let the, you know, things along the way. Scarcity mentality.
Sabotage.
Absolutely.
Self-doubt.
Absolutely. Yes. And with essential oils, because you and I are both into doTERRA essential oils, which I love with all my heart. When I got certified in yoga and we moved out here from LA to Florida, my now husband and I, we got married out here. I was planning a wedding. I was interior designing our apartment. I mean, I've always been doing so many things. I'm not really the type to like sit on my ass and twiddle my thumbs, you know? Well, I was doing a lot. So for me, I'm planning a wedding, interior designing. I was literally taking a yoga teacher training. I left my job at Healthy Magazine when we moved here. You know, going into my savings and all of that. You know, my husband started his financial business, so we were doing a lot and building a lot from the ground up. And what happened is, as I got certified in yoga, had the same vision. Okay, things are kind of going more in vlogging world. This was like 2013. Thought, well, maybe my vision on my vision board, my dream of living on the beach, being married and having kids, being able to express myself, be my true authentic self, the life I'm living now, and you know, truly live this life. I could be a blogger and then have a yoga studio, and I started, but see, it's still kind of dual a little bit. And then doTERRA came into my life, and I was like, well, that works because doTERRA oils, and I use their natural skincare, yada yada. And then I started growing within doTERRA, and I became a gold. Really, you know, I hit the ground running. Overachiever came out of me. Teaching yoga, doing doTERRA, and hit gold status. Love that. Love doTERRA. I had to very consciously, kind of like you see these patterns in my life, go, even though, yes, and I can see that I can hit presidential diamond to be making 7 figures a year doing this, I was like, at the end of the day, I'm not writing. At the end of the day, I'm not doing true beauty movement. At the end of the day, I am doing sales, even though I believe in the product. And I started taking a step back and had to be true to myself and practice what I preach and go, you know what? I don't care if it's the unpopular opinion, like a lot of the things I've done in my life. I need to really look at what do I want to do here. And it came back to writing and blogging and having these layers. So the layers were important, but if I would have just at 16, 17 said, I want to be a freelance magazine writer, I want to move to New York and do that, and not maybe sold out for the income at Bare Essentials and maybe done the unpaid internship in New York, I'm not saying that's the right answer because everything's happened. I met my soulmate. I mean, all these things are beautiful.
Soulmate mate.
Yeah, soulmate mate. Yeah, exactly. My soulmate mate. And oh my God, he's like the love of my life. And I mean,
so adorable.
Talk about a freaking like, not only overachiever, but I mean, I learn from him all the time. He is like the most amazing businessman you'll ever meet. He is, we're a power couple. I mean, he's incredible. And I learn from him, and he's actually, when we talk at night together, like we'll talk about life and business and manifesting and some pretty cool things. And he actually, I'm looking at the ground because he would literally visually be like, babe, this is what you're doing is you're standing here and you're saying, okay, let me do doTERRA. And he's like, you're making progress. Then you kind of come back and you go, well, let me do yoga. Then you come back and he's like, so you're not making 100% progress with one thing. And he's helped me to understand this. So I'm trying to share this with you because this has been my own struggle, but it's also been beautiful because as I've created clarity and confidence in who I am, in what I have to offer, in my skill set, in utilizing all these different phases of my life and these experiences under one umbrella and going for it. And now I'm leading with, you know, writing, and then it branches into the filming and all these other things with blogging. I can do it all, as they say, but you gotta have that focus. If you're doing a million things and it's like not one focus and layered this way, it's layered this way, it's not going to work.
Well, and I think that's one of the biggest things where people bring in all of these passions, and then for some reason they think they've got to narrow it down to just one, which the reason we're talking about this is you don't. But just because you like a lot of things does not mean, oh, okay, let's bring it all in.
Yes.
And so that's really the big thing. There might be a beautiful way to look at what are your top passions that are most authentic to you. For you, obviously, writing, health,
yoga,
beauty, yoga, lifestyle,
manifesting,
manifesting, alignment, authenticity. You know, where all of these other things you can incorporate a little bit, but they're still not the primary focus. We've got some like subcategories to our primary categories. So it's always going to go back to making sure you're building that relationship with you, that deep connection with you, aligning with your authentic self in order to allow your business to grow with ease and authenticity, which opens the doors for the abundance to come in. The abundance of money, love, connection, support, opportunities.
Time. So you're not a crazy person, Sparkin. I have more time. I was just here at this beautiful spa this weekend. I had an 80-minute massage, maternity massage, mani-pedi. I mean, I'm more relaxed than I've been my entire life in the sense of like my time freedom, you know, because
it's not all about hustle.
Yes, and because I'm attracting abundance, we can afford to have a nanny, a part-time amazing Mary Poppins cleans the house nanny, because I'm
carpet bag?
focused. Oh my God, I'm telling you, this woman, you guys, call out to Emma. I mean, she's amazing, and because I've been able to focus, I'm able to attract this abundance versus just running around like a crazy person and feeling a lack and feeling, you know, that doesn't work. And I'm still learning this, you guys. I don't have it all figured out, but I will tell you, I have learned a lot, and it shows up in my life, right? I see it.
And that's the gift for some of those deviations from your story. You wouldn't be so clear on what that path is had you not had some of those deviations to say, oh, I see what I did there. I learned those lessons. Now I know better, and it's added to your ability to be so focused and so aligned now in your business, in your brand, in your life, with your family. That whole vision. So,
and you know, reading, podcasts, all of these things, guys, everything I talk about and I share on my True Beauty Movement, these are all layers that define, and I don't want to say define you, because you define yourself. They feed you, they nourish you. You learn from this expert. You kind of cherry pick all this information, and it starts to develop your passions and all these different things. I love what Stacy said here, and that's so true, where, and I remember when we talked a little bit, we didn't really prep a lot of this. She sent me a couple things and which is awesome. It's all way more real.
Just
and
two girls chatting.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, what kind of questions? I kind of looked at them. Yeah, and I was like, all right, I kind of know. Of course, I know myself. I know the answers to all these. And it helps me to write, you know, because I'm a writer, so I really quick jot down, okay, here we go. But one thing I want to hit that I remember kind of jotting down was finding your flow state. So to me, I'm really big, and this is being a yoga teacher, in finding your flow state so you can manifest your best life. And you all know the answer. You know, I can't tell you, Stacy can't tell you. You need to trust your gut instincts, trust your intuition, be that girl boss you know you can be, and trust yourself, you know, your intuition chakra, your third eye. And whether you're into yoga or not, and that speaks to you, you're like, what in the world? Like, this is like hippy dippy stuff. You know, it doesn't matter. It's trusting and having confidence in who you are and you know where you're going. What I mean by that is, so when I say, what do you love to do to lose track of time? Like, when you lose track of time, what is something you love to do? And for me, no matter what it is, my little analytical side, the first thing I think of is magazines. It's been like that since I was a kid. Yoga and makeup and all these other things are my second layers. I would say yoga probably comes in second. It might be yoga, makeup, it kind of goes hand in hand. Because for me, applying makeup, and it's not just the like, oh, makeup, it's actually a meditation for me. I tend to listen to positive affirmations when I do my makeup.
I do too. I'm like binge on Abraham Hicks.
Yes, I love it. And I literally would be like, you know, I am, da da da. Like, and my husband's like, you know, now he does it because he's like, oh my God, you've manifested so many things in our life. So he totally is like on board. He's manifesting like crazy now because I love teaching people how to manifest because I kind of do it at light speed. You know, you'll learn this about me. I've had followers that literally have seen me put something on my vision board and seen it come into my life on my stories and all that. It's fun. And I've had friends who have followed that. They're like, this is nuts. You talked about white sandy beaches and the tall grass and all that back in Utah when you were 18, and I didn't even define it was Florida. I just had the vision, and they're like, you are living your dream life. So I love to help people. I do this with my blog, so if that interests you, please come over to True Beauty Movement. I'd love it.
It's amazing.
I would love it, and we'll grow together. But I want you to really trust yourself, because when I say that, I say magazine writing. So for me, that's the spearhead, right? So when I said don't do this, or it's like horizontal, do where it's more like a point, that's the spearhead, is my writing. At the end of the day, it's all about my writing. It's not filming, it's the writing. The filming maybe comes after that, right? So if writing is it for me, magazine writing, blogging, there's kind of one and the same in my world. Blogging, I can be a mom and work from home and make unlimited income, and I can submit blog posts to magazines if I want to. I always say blogging is like a modern magazine these days, So if that's my spearhead, you have then the layers of the bullet points of the passions, right? So you have the yoga, wellness, beauty, lifestyle. For you, it might be A, B, C, D. So try to define whatever those 3 to 5 bullet points are for you, or sub-bullet points rather, of your passions. But what is that number one thing for you? And that's going to give you that clarity. And for me, that's kind of my message to you, where if you notice, cosmetics, it was sales. Magazine, it was writing and sales. doTERRA, it was sales, and also team trainings and managing teams. Leadership. Yeah. And so a lot of that, even though it was great, I wasn't writing consistently. So that's when you define that, all those other passions can come into play. So don't feel like you need to just like define it, but you need to define what that one thing is, because video is another thing. I've had so many people, oh, you're so good in front of the camera, you're so real, you gotta be doing this. Okay, but my heart's in writing, so I have to start with writing to gather my thoughts, and then maybe have my iPad when I do my blog posts for you guys or live videos, and kind of refer to it and be like, okay guys, and be real, but be able to look down and see my 3 bullet points that are the point of the blog, so I stay on point. So I've learned all this, but you need to have that focus. If you don't have that focus, that one thing, you're going to be all over the place. And then define those sub-bullets.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely integrating your top passion.
Yes.
Just what is the one that lights you up the most? Mm-hmm. Not that that's defining your entire brand or business. Right. It's just that's your anchor point.
Yes.
Like you said, your spearhead is the anchor point.
I love that
and
anchor point.
And then everything kind of blossoms from that anchor point within your brand and your business. Mm-hmm. So, all right, we are going to wrap today up. So what I want to know, what is your final thoughts? Your most powerful quote, empowering lesson, just
Love
kind of
that.
bringing it all home.
Love that.
To tell the women, to really just inspire them to get out there and do this.
I love that. So, one thing comes to mind, the first thing that's very simple, that I've been really working on, and I've seen a lot of blossoming happening for me from this, is really understanding I am worthy and I am abundant. So I've been really practicing the word abundance and what that means on all levels, both financially, both freedom with my time, both, date nights. My husband and I do weekly date nights, and we have so much fun. And we've been together 10 years, and we have like such a spark in our relationship. We have like, it's
dating.
I love it.
Husband?
I love it. You guys religiously. It's not like, oh yeah, we do weekly date night. No. Like religiously. Like if we don't have a weekly date night, I'm like, what's going on? Like I don't understand. So like abundance on all levels, as a couple was flying. So I think that that's important. Like I am worthy, I am abundant. Moving through blocks on that. And then the other thing I would say is, the quote that comes to mind, and this is where again trusting yourself is at the center of your being. I say this in my yoga classes, my virtual yoga classes I teach you guys, on Instagram and all that, is at the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. So, that's the quote itself, and I want to encourage you, go after it with just fearless confidence, let nothing hold you back, not scarcity, because if we'll go back to my high school days, if you stick with that, of course you're going to create abundance. You're not just maybe doing your passion. Yeah, it might be a little hard at first, but you're going to eventually, if I did the New York unpaid internship thing, of course I'm going to eventually get paid. Of course I'm going to try. So you believe in yourself. I mean, own it, girl.
Yeah.
You got this. Like, make it happen. Don't waste your life. Go out there and make it happen, and you'll amaze yourself.
Love it.
Yeah.
So good. So you can find her at trubeautymovement.com.
Yep, that's my blog. So just remember, it's TRU without the E, beautymovement.com. We just relaunched it, and sign up for my email list. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm really active on Instagram the most. I kind of auto do things to Facebook, but I'm still active on there, and then YouTube as well. So subscribe to all that, and I'm going to start launching my blog posts out through eBlast. So definitely sign up for my email list because that's where you're going to kind of get the latest stuff from me.
Yeah, and we'll put all the links down below the video. And since we talked a lot today about getting into alignment, and especially with brand and finding out what that anchor point is, what that spearhead is for you, you know, you've got to go through that process of getting unstuck around the idea of your passions and what your brand is. So I always recommend my Empowered Overthinker method. It's in my book, my best-selling book, Be a Boss and Fire That Bitch. But you can also go to empoweredoverthinkermethod.com and you'll get the little video training to walk you through step-by-step through the method. It's really simple and it just helps you get clear on some of the stuck points, get you into alignment with the real you before deciding what action to take. So it's going to help you really get clear on what the most important top priority passions are for you. So we'll put all those links in below the video. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This has been such a fun, amazing chat. We'll share it like crazy.
Yes.
And definitely stay tuned because we'll end up doing another video for your YouTube channel here.
Yes, and I might get this up on my YouTube channel because I think it's just fun. We'll share like crazy, like she said.
We'll have
everywhere.
Like, all this stuff.
I'll get it on IGTV and YouTube and my blog.
Exactly. So good. So thank you all for joining us today. Take care. And remember, as always, you are enough. Now I get to go over it.
I love it. I love it. And be balanced, be true, be you, baby.
Yes, exactly.
Bye, guys.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's True Beauty Quick Tip. If you like what you see and for more confidence building tips on how to be a beauty from the inside out, remember to subscribe to our channel and connect with us at trubeautymovement.com. That's TRU without the E, Beauty Movement. Love you guys. Until next time, remember, be balanced, be true, and proud to be you.